I wanted to read this short passage to you from a novel I read recently called The Burning Girl by Claire Messud. It's a very short scene, but she does a great job of creating a world. The woods around Royston are great for those kind of games. There are clearings in the trees and huge slabs of rocks like tables, fallen logs to serve as benches, rocky overhangs underneath which you can build a little camp that will stay dry in all but the heaviest rainfall. They're not impenetrable, not a Hansel and Gretel forest, but a forest where the sunlight falls green and dappled to the soft piney ground, where surprising toadstools sprout in clumps, flat red plates or piled cream ruffles, tiny yellow shiny bulbs almost slick, and invisible birds call to one another in the high branches overhead. Sometimes you catch the bright flash of a red-winged blackbird or a cardinal, and upon occasion, at the quarry itself, a misguided preening egret teetering on its precarious pins, stretching its great wings and arching its prehistoric neck to glare at you from a bald, glittering eye. So in this scene, whether she intentionally uses this technique or not, we can't be sure if we don't ask her, but it feels very much like she's zooming in. So she's doing a long to medium to close-up, as I described in the PowerPoint, where she's moving the reader from the woods to the trees, to the plants, to the birds, and then more specifically to one bird and then that bird's eye. So it gives the reader this feeling of zooming in like a camera would. So that is one way you can create your scene that is concentrating on your setting if you want to. Notice also, I don't think I have this in this list here, she doesn't use a lot of to be verbs. To be verbs are is, are, was, were, be, being, been, and it can really bog writing down. I don't think we should try to avoid them altogether because then it can sound kind of forced. But when you can, use more active verbs like build here, like falls, call, teetering, stretching, right? So those are all much more active verbs. She has like an is and an are in here a couple places, but it's not like every single sentence has an is or an are in it. So just try to be wary of that. And she uses a second person voice, which is unusual. You can do that. Most writers tend to use first or third person, but regardless of which person you choose, keep it consistent throughout your scene. Keep your tense consistent, so choose either present or past. And make sure your details are really concrete like hers are. She describes colors and textures and the types of trees and the types of animals, okay? And she accomplishes this in a really short amount of time. So I'm wanting you to kind of use this as inspiration for your scene, even though yours doesn't have to be set outdoors and you don't have to use this particular long, medium, close-up description, but it's one option that you can use.